For a few moments, Sophia couldn't take her eyes off the second photograph. The young woman she now knew as Evelyn smiled at the camera, one arm wrapped around a small child standing beside her. The picture had clearly been taken years after the one with the book. The child looked no older than 6. When Sophia looked up, she found the old man already watching her. He smiled knowingly. "You noticed?" Sophia nodded. "Is that your daughter?" The old man's eyes softened. "Yes." For a moment, he simply stared at the photograph, as if he could still hear the laughter frozen inside it. "Her name is Claire." He carefully returned the picture to his pocket. "She lives 3 states away now." Sophia smiled. "And Evelyn?" The old man looked toward the city. The answer was already written across his face. "We were married for 42 years. His voice was calm. Not rehearsed. Not dramatic. Simply honest. 42 years. Sophia repeated it quietly. The number felt impossible. Most relationships she knew didn't survive a few years. The old man laughed softly. "We weren't perfect. Nobody is." The city lights slowly began to flicker on below them. One by one. Like stars appearing before sunset had fully disappeared. "We argued. We worried. We made mistakes." He smiled. "But every Thursday, we came back here." Sophia glanced at the bench. "This bench?" The old man nodded. "The same one." At first it had been simple. 2 young people meeting after work. Sharing sandwiches. Talking about books. Watching the city below. Then life became busier. Jobs. Bills. A mortgage. A daughter. The endless responsibilities that seemed to arrive without warning. Yet somehow they kept their tradition alive. Every Thursday. No matter what. Some weeks we only had 15 minutes. The old man chuckled. Sometimes less. But we always came. "Why?" Sophia asked. The old man thought for a moment. Then smiled. "Because life is very good at stealing your time." His eyes remained fixed on the horizon. "If you're not careful, years pass without noticing." The words settled between them. Sophia felt their weight immediately. Because she knew they were true. One Thursday became another. Then another. Then another. The years moved forward. The city changed. New buildings appeared. Old buildings disappeared. Their daughter grew up. Moved away. Started a family of her own. And still, every Thursday, 2 familiar figures could be found sitting on the bench above the city. Watching the sunset. Talking. Laughing. Sometimes saying nothing at all. People think love is the big moments. The old man smiled. The wedding. The proposal. The anniversary. He shook his head. "The truth is." He looked down at the rose in his hand. "It's mostly Thursdays." Sophia smiled. She wasn't sure she'd ever heard a better description. The wind grew cooler. The sun had almost disappeared. And for the first time since beginning his story, the old man's smile faded. Only slightly. But enough. Sophia knew they had reached the difficult part. "Evelyn got sick when we were 70. The words came quietly. Without self-pity. Without bitterness. Just fact. The way people speak about storms they survived. At first, they thought treatment would help. Then they hoped. Then they prayed. Then they simply learned to treasure every day they still had." One Thursday evening, they sat together on the bench. The city looked exactly as it always had. Lights stretching toward the horizon. Cars moving through distant streets. 1,000 lives unfolding below them. The old man remembered every detail. The color of the sky. The cool breeze. The way Evelyn held his hand. And the words she spoke. "Promise me something." He had laughed. "Anything." She smiled. The same smile she had given him all those years ago while holding a book. "Don't stop coming here." The old man's voice cracked for the first time. Only slightly. But Sophia heard it. "I told her I wouldn't." He looked down at the rose. "And I meant it." Evelyn passed away 3 months later. The overlook remained. The city remained. The bench remained. And on the first Thursday after the funeral, the old man came back. Alone. With a single red rose. Then came another Thursday. And another. And another. Years became decades. People changed. The city changed. But the promise remained. Sophia sat quietly, unsure what to say. Some stories deserved silence. This was one of them. Finally, she asked the question she had carried since the beginning. The question everyone in town probably wanted answered. So that's why you come here? The old man looked toward the empty space beside him. The place where Evelyn had once sat. The place where he still left a rose every week. Sophia expected sadness, longing, regret. Instead, he smiled. A warm, peaceful smile. The smile of someone remembering a life well lived. No. Sophia frowned. No. The old man shook his head gently. I don't come here because I miss her. The answer surprised her. Because if not that, then what? The old man looked out across the city one final time, the skyline glowing beneath the last light of day. And then he said, I come here because I was lucky enough to know her. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The wind moved softly through the trees. The city lights sparkled below. And suddenly Sophia understood. This was never a story about grief. It was a story about gratitude. About a promise. About choosing to remember the beautiful things instead of only mourning what was lost. The old man stood slowly. As he always did. He placed the red rose on the right side of the bench. Then rested his hand gently on the weathered wood. For a brief moment, it looked as though he was saying goodbye. Not to Evelyn, but to another Thursday. As he walked away, Sophia remained on the bench. Watching the city. Watching the rose. Watching the empty space beside it. And for the first time, she didn't see an empty seat at all. She saw 42 years of conversations. Thousands of sunsets. Countless Thursdays. A lifetime of love. Sometimes, the most extraordinary stories begin in ordinary places. A girl with a book. An old bench overlooking a city. And a promise that